Hello everyone and welcome to today's training session. In this session, our focus will be on the drop shipment process within the Onfinity system. The drop shipment process facilitates the direct delivery of products from the vendor to the customer. This aims to save time and lessen the necessity for extra handling. Let's take a quick look at the agenda for today's session. We will proceed through the step-by-step drop shipment process, understand how it functions within Onfinity, and review a practical example to ensure the concept is clear. Now let's examine the objectives of this session. It aims to enable you to understand the drop shipment process and its associated terms within the context of business processes. It also aims to enable you to test the drop shipment process within the context of business requirements. Before we begin, let's review the prerequisites. You will need access to the Onfinity platform with a valid user ID and password. Additionally, the Onfinity basic setup and master data setup configurations must be completed and available. Now let's begin with the drop shipment process use case. We will explore a real-life example that will help you clearly understand how the drop shipment process works and its role in business operations. In this scenario, Green Energy Private Limited places a sales order with Sonic Ventures for 150 Lenovo ThinkPad laptops and 25 TP-Link cameras. To ensure faster delivery and reduce logistics overhead, Sonic Ventures opts for a drop shipment model. They initiate the drop shipment process by generating a purchase order directly from the sales order using the Generate PO from Sales Order feature. Here, Sonic Ventures does not need to maintain stock. Instead, the purchase is directly linked with the sales order to speed up the transaction. The purchase is issued to Brighttech Innovations with the customer's location specified for direct delivery. Once Brighttech confirms dispatch and Green Energy Private Limited acknowledges receipt of the goods, which occurs outside the system, Sonic Ventures records a goods receipt note, GRN, against the purchase in the system to reflect the transaction. This step is important because it ensures that the system recognizes the purchase transaction even though the goods were delivered directly to the customer. Upon completion of the GRN, the system automatically generates a delivery order, marking the sales order as fulfilled. This approach allows Sonic Ventures to streamline operations and reduce delivery time. With this, the cycle from sales order to delivery order is completed without physical stock involvement from Sonic Ventures, keeping the process smooth and efficient. This approach allows Sonic Ventures to streamline operations and reduce delivery time. By using the drop shipment model, they save on warehousing and reduce logistics effort. Moving ahead, let's look at the drop shipment process flowchart. The process begins with a sales order. This is where the customer's requirement is recorded in the system, capturing details such as the products, quantities, and delivery expectations. The sales order serves as the foundation for the entire drop shipment cycle. From the sales order, we generate a purchase order. The key point here is that the purchase order is not created separately, but is directly linked to the sales order through the Generate PO from Sales Order feature. This ensures consistency in data and avoids duplication of effort as the customer's requirements flow directly into the supplier order. Once the supplier dispatches the goods directly to the customer, Sonic Ventures records a goods receipt note, GRN, in the system. Even though the goods are not physically received in Sonic Ventures' warehouse, the GRN is recorded to acknowledge that the supplier has fulfilled the purchase and the customer has received the items. This step is crucial because it keeps the system updated and aligns financial and inventory records. After completing the GRN, the system automatically generates a delivery order. This delivery order is mapped back to the sales order, marking it as fulfilled. Now let's understand the basic masters involved in the drop shipment process. To record a drop shipment process, here are some basic masters which must be available in the system. These include customer, vendor, product, attribute set instance if the product has multiple attributes, unit of measure, currency, price list, payment term, payment method, and warehouse. It is important to note that the drop shipment setting must be configured both on the product and on the warehouse. Only then can we proceed with the drop shipment transaction. All these topics are already covered in their respective training sessions. If you want to learn how to configure them, you can watch the detailed sessions on each topic. Now that we've covered the basic concepts and practical use case of the drop shipment process, we have a clear understanding of the steps required to execute this business process effectively. This concludes the foundational knowledge of how and what we are going to process within the Onfinity system. Now let's proceed to the system demonstration to explore how drop shipment process can be performed step by step. Open the Onfinity platform by entering the designated URL into your web browser. Enter your user ID in the designated field. Enter your password. Click on the Login button to access the system. Once you log into the system, you will land on the Onfinity homepage. Here, you will find various mosaics that display real-time data based on transactions recorded in the system. The availability of mosaics depends on the user's access rights and the modules installed in the system. It is important to note that the mosaics you see on your screen may differ from those visible on mine, as they can be rearranged or customized according to individual preferences. To make adjustments, navigate to the Mosaic section and click on it. From here, you can insert another available mosaic by selecting it and dropping it onto the home page. To rearrange the location of an existing mosaic, simply select it and interchange its position with another. This allows you to easily adjust and organize mosaics in Onfinity according to your requirements. For now, we will not go into further detail on these mosaics and will focus on the drop shipment process. To begin our process, we first need to open the sales order screen in order to create a new sales order record. To begin, we can simply search for sales order using the menu search utility. Alternatively, we can navigate through the menu path under Sales and Marketing, then go to Order Management, where you will find the sales order. Click on Sales Order, and you will be directed to the landing page of the sales order screen. Here on the landing page of the sales order screen, you will also notice a number of default mosaics available. These mosaics can be used for quick filtering of records, as well as for analysis through KPIs and charts that provide insights into the organization's sales performance. Mosaics include Advanced Search, Document Status, Warehouse, Target Document Type, and Customer, all of which can be used to filter the available records and quickly locate specific sales orders. Next, there is the Open Sales Order KPI, which shows all sales orders that are still open and pending for delivery creation. From these two mosaics, a delivery order can also be created directly. To do this, simply select the document number from the available sales records displayed in the mosaic. Once the record opens, the item lines become visible. If the required items are available in the warehouse, the line can be selected for further processing. In this case, the item quantity is not available for the selected record. This is why the line appears in red and cannot be selected. This indicates that the stock is not available for this particular product, and therefore, we cannot proceed with the delivery at this stage. However, if the stock were available, the line could be selected. The Generate Delivery Order button would appear. By clicking Generate Delivery Order button, the system would process the sales order and generates the delivery order. The Due Fulfillments mosaic shows sales orders that were scheduled to be delivered in the past but are still pending, based on the promised date. The Expected Fulfillments mosaic, on the other hand, displays sales orders that are scheduled to be fulfilled either on the current day or in the future, as per their promised delivery dates. Now to where we also have charts based on which you can analyze the record, whether you can see the values of order, based on the customer having the most prioritized customer for the revenue purpose. The top 10 sales order by value chart displays the highest value sales orders against the customers. The top 10 products by sales revenue chart highlights the products that generate the most revenue, along with their respective contribution. Finally, The sales order by product category chart provides an analysis based on the overall product category count for the products used. To add a new record in the sales order transaction, click on the New Record mosaic. This will open the screen in single record view. On the left side, you will see the header panel of the sales order, which provides a quick overview. Here, you can view details such as the customer, order number, ordered date, and promised date. These fields will automatically update based on the changes you make. The currency will update according to the selected price list. You can also see the grand total and the order status. The order status indicates whether the order has been delivered or not. In addition, you will find the document status, which shows whether the document is still in draft form or has been completed. Here, you first need to select the organization and then choose the transaction type as standard order. In our previous sessions, we have already understood the different target document types available for sales orders and their respective uses. For the drop shipment process, we will proceed with the target document type set as standard order. If there is any order reference, it can be entered in the order reference field. Next, specify the date ordered, which is the date on which the order is being recorded, and the date promised, which is the date on which the order is expected to be delivered. Let us now set the date promised as the 15th of July, 2025. In the customer field, we need to select the customer who has requested the items. For this use case, we will proceed with Green Energy Private Limited. Once the customer is selected, the related details will be auto-filled. This includes the invoice to business partner, location, bill to location, user contact, and invoice contact. All of these details are directly updated from the customer master. Next, in the priority field, you can set the priority for the transaction. The sales representative is automatically picked up from the login user details. However, if another person is responsible for the sales, you can select their name from the drop-down list. For the drop shipment process, it is important to ensure that the warehouse being used has the drop shipment check button enabled. Only then can we proceed with the transaction, as this ensures that the same warehouse will be carried forward to the purchase order. If a warehouse without the drop shipment check button enabled is selected, and the system does not yet have a drop shipment warehouse, the system will automatically create one when we run the process to generate a purchase order for the drop shipment. So, let's select a warehouse. If no drop shipment warehouse is available, a new one will be created. We will verify this as well. For now, we will proceed with the Sonic Ventures warehouse. Let's zoom into the selected warehouse. By clicking on the warehouse name hyperlink, you can open the record in single record view. Here, you can see that the drop shipment check button is not marked as true. If you want to continue using the same warehouse and avoid creating a new one, simply enable the drop shipment check button. This ensures that the selected warehouse will be used in the further transaction. It is always recommended to create a drop shipment specific warehouse when following the drop shipment process. This warehouse is not used to stock products. Rather, it acts as a virtual warehouse to ensure the process runs smoothly. For this demonstration, however, we will proceed without enabling drop shipment. This will allow us to test the system's ability to automatically create a drop shipment warehouse. To confirm, we need to check whether any other configured warehouse or system-created warehouse already has the drop shipment option enabled. Let's refresh the record and review the next warehouse. Moving on to the second warehouse, again, as we can see, no warehouse currently has drop shipment marked as true. This means we can proceed, and the system will create a new drop shipment warehouse automatically when we run the process. It completely depends on the user's choice whether to use a manually created warehouse or rely on the system-created warehouse. Next, the price list is directly derived from the customer setup. However, if there are additional price lists available, you can select one as required. The payment term indicates the conditions under which the payment will be made. For instance, if the agreement is to allow 20 days for payment, you can select a 20-day payment term here. Similarly, the payment method can also be defined if a specific method of payment is required. For this demonstration, we will proceed with the payment method as MasterCard. The currency rate type is automatically derived from the default set currency rate, which is primarily used for currency conversion in case the transaction is processed in a different currency. If any other rate type is required, you can select it here. Once these details are entered, let's save the header record. Next, click on the Lines tab button to move to the Lines tab. To add a new line, click on New Record. This will open the screen in Single Record View. Here, enter the product name and select the product Lenovo ThinkPad, which we are going to use for now. As soon as we select the product, notice that the Drop Shipment check button automatically gets enabled. This is happening because we had already configured Drop Shipment for this product during the master setup. To verify the product's setup, simply zoom into the product. Now click on the hyperlink to view the record in Single Record View. Next, click on the Stock Details tab button to open the Stock Details tab. Here, you will find the Drop Shipment check button, which needs to be marked as true. We have already covered how to configure products in detail during a dedicated session. If you would like to revisit that configuration process, please refer to that specific training. For now, let's move back to the sales order screen. Here we also have attributes linked with the product. To select them, click on the Attribute Set Instance field. You can either choose a new attribute combination, or, if an attribute already exists, click on Select Existing Record and pick from the available list. There is also an option to show all, including 0 and negative quantity. By selecting this checkbox, even attributes with no available stock will appear in the list. Since no stock is available in the warehouses at this moment, we are proceeding with the drop shipment process. For now, let's select an existing attribute, confirm with OK, and once again confirm to add it by clicking OK. This allows us to successfully select the item along with its attribute set instance. Now we just need to enter the quantity to be shipped. In our use case, this will be 150. The price is automatically updated here based on the price list. If required, you can make adjustments to the price directly in this field. Once done, save the line. Now let's add another item. Click on New Record, then enter the product name TP-Link Cameras and select it. As soon as the item is selected, the Drop Shipment check button is enabled automatically, and the prices are fetched directly from the price list. Now, let's enter the quantity as per our use case, which is 25. Once entered, save the line, and we are ready to proceed further. Next, return to the header and complete the record. To do this, simply click on the Document Action button in the header panel, select Complete, and confirm by clicking OK. Please note that in this demonstration, we used a warehouse where the Drop Shipment check button was not enabled. However, when running the purchase order process, it is mandatory to have a Drop Shipment warehouse available. With that in mind, let's move forward and create a purchase order with reference to this sales order. To do this, we can simply search for Generate PO from Sales Order in the menu search utility. Alternatively, we can navigate to the Procurement Management module. Under this module, go to Purchase Order, where you will find the option Generate PO from Sales Order. Clicking on this option will open the process screen, where we need to enter the required details. The first 4 fields in this process are Date Ordered From, Date Ordered To, Business Partner, and Current Vendor. These fields are mainly used to filter the sales orders. For example, you can filter records based on an order date range. In the Business Partner field, you can enter the customer's name to narrow down results when multiple customers exist. Alternatively, you can click on the Order field, which opens the order page showing a list of available orders to choose from. If any details were entered in the filter fields earlier, they will automatically filtered over to the order selection page. Let's do one thing. We'll come back to this process again with filtration enabled. For now, let's enter the Customer Green Energy Private Limited in the Business Partner field. Now, when we click on the Order field, the order page displays only those orders created against Green Energy Private Limited. Our document number is 50,010, so let's select it and confirm by clicking OK. Now, if you notice that we have 2 vendor fields here, The vendor field is used when you want to create a purchase order against a specific vendor. The current vendor field, on the other hand, is used only for filtering purposes. If vendors have already been defined in the vendor tab of the product, the system will use that information to create the purchase order directly. In that case, there is no need to link a vendor manually at this process form. Now, how can we check this? Let's move back to the Product Master screen. Now navigate to the product header. Here you will find the Vendor tab. Click on it to open the vendor details. For now, let's click on New Record. Any vendor we link here in the Vendor tab will be treated by the system as the current vendor for creating a purchase order. However, if different products are linked to different vendors, it becomes difficult to generate a consolidated purchase order. In such cases, we can make use of the vendor field available on the Generate PO from Sales Order form. Now, let's move back to the form. For this example, we will create the purchase order with a vendor. As per our use case, the vendor is BrightTech Innovations. At the bottom, you will notice the drop shipment field. This specifies whether the purchase order should be treated as a drop shipment. Since we are following the drop shipment process, we need to select Yes. Next, we have the Consolidated PO checkbox. This checkbox is used when multiple sales orders are available and we want to generate a single purchase order for them. In that case, we can mark this checkbox as true. Since we have selected only a single sales order in this case, we can proceed by simply clicking OK. Once the process runs, the purchase order document number will appear here, and on the left side, you will see the grand total of the order displayed. The prices you see here are coming directly from the purchase order. Now, let's copy the created document number. We'll use this purchase order number to open and review the purchase order document. From here, we can search Purchase Order in the menu utility, or we can simply move to Procurement Management and then go to the Purchase Order module. Here, we will find the purchase order. Click on it to open. Now again, we will land on the landing page of the purchase order screen, where we will see the different default mosaics. If you notice, we also have a Generate PO from SO mosaic available here. To open the form, we can also use this mosaic to directly move to the form. By clicking on this mosaic, the process form will open. Now, here we have the filter mosaics. The advanced search mosaic can be used for filtration by clicking on the hyperlinks. We can simply navigate to the records available on the screen. Similarly, the other filter mosaics are Warehouse, Document Status, and Vendor. Here we have the Due Orders and Expected Orders mosaics, which can be used to generate the goods receipt note directly from the purchase order landing page. In the Due Orders mosaic, we will find the purchase orders that were expected to arrive in our warehouse in past days. In the Expected Orders mosaic, we will find the purchase orders that are scheduled to arrive in the future or on the current day. Next, you have the charts, which help you analyze the business position. You can track monthly purchase order trends, see the top 10 purchase orders by value for each vendor, and review the top categories by spend. Now, let's filter the records using the advanced search filter for today's purchase orders. Here, you will see the record we filtered. Open it in single record view by clicking on the hyperlink to verify the details. So here we can see that the Sonic Ventures Drop Shipment Warehouse, a new warehouse, has been created directly. First, let's zoom into this warehouse. If you remember, Sonic Ventures Drop Shipment Warehouse did not previously exist. It was created automatically through the drop shipment process. Simply click on the name hyperlink to view the record in single record view. Now you will see that the drop shipment check button is marked as true. The address appears by default as the organization address. Now click on Locator tab button to move on Locator tab. In the same way, one default locator gets created for the warehouse. We can now move back to the header. So, every time you proceed with a drop shipment, make sure that a drop shipment warehouse is available. Let's move back to the purchase order screen. It is mandatory for the purchase order transaction to include a drop shipment warehouse. Otherwise, you will not be able to proceed with the drop shipment process. It is also recommended to take the same warehouse on the sales order screen once it is applicable in the system. Now let's take a look at each field one by one. Here, you will find the organization and target document type, which come directly from the Generate PO from Sales Order process. In the Order Reference field, the sales order number is used as a reference. You can make changes to the date promised, which indicates the expected delivery date for this purchase order. In the Vendor field, the vendor is updated, and based on this selection, the remaining details related to the vendor are updated accordingly. Remaining details can be verified and updated if required. Now, you just need to save the record, then we can process and complete the record. Simply click on the Document Action button in the header panel, select the document action as complete, and confirm by OK. By completing the record, the order status changes to open. At this stage, you can also take a print of this purchase order. If you notice, the Ship to field is updated with the customer details. This is directly coming from the settings you have defined for the drop shipment process. So, this is how the purchase order works in the drop shipment scenario. Now let's move back to the system. Once the purchase order is completed and the vendor ships the goods directly to the customer, you are ready to proceed with creating the goods receipt note in the system. To create a goods receipt note, you can either search for goods receipt note in the menu search utility or navigate to the Material Management module. Under this module, go to Storage Operations, where you will find the Goods Receipt Note. Click on it to open the screen. Here again, you will land on the Goods Receipt Note landing page. On the GRN landing page, you will find mosaics that are used for filtration, as well as the pending GRN and expected GRN mosaics, which allow you to directly create goods receipt note records based on the purchases. If you check under Expected GRN, you will see the purchase order that we recently created. To proceed, simply click on the purchase order number, then select the line. This will display the Generate GRN button. Once you click on this button, the system will create the goods receipt note. But for now, we will create it manually. On the landing page, you will also find some charts that can be used to analyze the records. The first chart is the current year versus last year GRN cost comparison. If there is any cost recorded in the same month of the previous year, it will appear here, displayed on a monthly basis. In the same way, you also have the GRN versus vendor return count chart, which provides a comparison between the GRNs created and the vendor returns. For instance, if you notice, in the month of July, there is one GRN created and one vendor return as well. Lastly, you have the top 10 highest stock products chart, which allows you to analyze the products with the highest stock levels. Now, to create a GRN, simply click on the New Record mosaic. This will open the screen in Single Record View, where you can select the document type, whether it is with confirmation or without confirmation. For now, we will proceed with the simple process, as no confirmation is required in our case. We have already understood the different transaction types of GRN and the purpose of these two types. For a detailed explanation of the transaction type with confirmation, you can refer to the dedicated training session on PO with GRN confirmation topic. For now, we just need to enter the date of movement as the 15th of July, 2025. Next, select the warehouse. You will notice that the warehouse used in the purchase order is not available here. The warehouse will only appear once we mark the drop shipment check button as true. Now, the Sonic Ventures drop shipment warehouse will be available. Now, enter the name of the vendor as Bright Tech Innovations and select it. Based on vendor selection, the vendor location and vendor contact will be automatically updated. After this, you can set the priority, and the representative will be updated from the login details of the user. Similarly, you just need to select the locator and save the header. Next, click on the Create Line From button. This will open the Create Lines From page, where you can either enter the order number directly in the order field, or click on the order field to open the order page and select the order from here. Confirm by clicking OK. Once confirmed, the product lines will appear on the Create Lines from page. Here, you can simply select the line and make changes to the quantity if there is any partial delivery. After that, click OK, and the line will be inserted. You can verify this by clicking on the Lines tab button to move to the Lines tab, where you just need to click on the product hyperlink to open it in single record view. And here, you will also find that the Drop Shipment check button is marked as true. Now, move back to the Header tab, where you just need to complete the record. Simply click on the Document Action button and confirm by OK. Once you proceed and complete the GRN record, you will see a shipment-generated message appear at the bottom with the document number. This indicates that the system has directly created the delivery order. To verify this, go to the delivery order screen. To open the delivery order screen, navigate to the Order Fulfillment module. Under Material Management, click on Delivery Order to open it. Once again, you will land on the Delivery Order landing page. Similarly, you have the mosaics that can be used for filtration purposes, such as advanced search, warehouse, customer, document type, shipper, and document status. These mosaics directly display the records once there are available entries on the delivery order screen. In addition, there are other mosaics provided to open forms and processes that are used to generate delivery orders and invoices, apart from the standard screen options. The forms allow you to perform specific record transactions, such as generate delivery and generate invoice. With respect to business partners, the available process options include Generate Delivery Order Manual and Generate Invoice Manual. As understood earlier, the pending deliveries and expected deliveries mosaics are static. From these mosaics, we can directly create a delivery order based on the available sales orders. The landing page also displays charts such as delivery order versus customer return, which enable analysis of items delivered in comparison with returns. In addition, the top 10 highest stock products chart highlights the quantities of products with the highest stock levels, allowing further analysis. Now, to view the created records, we can simply use the available filter Today Delivery Orders under Advanced Search. By clicking on the hyperlink, the order will open. Now click on the order number hyperlink to open in single record view, allowing us to verify the details. All the information here comes directly from the goods receipt note. That brings us to the end of today's session on the drop shipment process in the Onfinity system. We have walked through each step, from creating the sales order, generating the purchase order, recording the goods receipt note, to verifying the delivery order, highlighting how the drop shipment functionality streamlines direct deliveries from vendor to customer. By following these steps, you can efficiently manage drop shipments and ensure accurate documentation. Thank you for attending. If you have any questions or need further clarification on any step, feel free to reach out.